And now it's time for This Week in History, trivia style. 7 questions, all multiple choice answers, set to medium difficulty. If you go 7 for 7, it's going to be a good day. Question number 1 starts with April 27th, 1805. What event took place on April 27th, 1805, involving the United States Marines? April 27th, 1805, an event involving the United States Marines. Was it the Battle of Yorktown, the first Barbary attack on Dima, the Louisiana Purchase being finalized, or the War of 1812 beginning? I'm not happy with the way the questions came out this way. Hey, Corey! Long time no see, my friend. Good to see you out there. Again, what event took place involving United States Marines on April 27th, 1805? Was it the Battle of Yorktown, the first Barbary attack on Dima, Louisiana Purchase finalized, or the War of 1812 beginning? To the shores of Tripoli. Interesting fact, they never made it to Tripoli. And there were only 6 of them. It's the craziest thing. They leave Alexandria, Egypt. They make it no further than, say the question one more time. Dang dong, right on the road. What event took place involving United States Marines on April 27th, 1805? Battle of Yorktown, the first Barbary War attack on Dima, the Louisiana Purchase was finalized, or the War of 1812 began. Back to, and the shores of Tripoli. They never made it further than Benghazi, which is far, far away from Tripoli. And again, it's just one guy, one officer, 5 enlisted, and a whole bunch of mercenaries that he convinced to come along with them on this mission by pretending to be a general, even though he was only a lieutenant. And not even a real lieutenant. He was a Marine lieutenant, which is less than a Navy lieutenant. So anytime you hear to the shores of Tripoli, just remember, it's all malarkey. It's all malarkey. James is going to go with Barbary, the first Barbary attack on Dima. I almost want to agree with him. It's 1805. Louisiana Purchase finalized has nothing to do with the United States Marines. The War of 1812 beginning was a naval battle. The Battle of Yorktown, also pretty much a naval battle. I'm also going to go with the first Barbary War attack on Dima. To the shores of Tripoli. Jessica? You got an answer? Corey, do you have an answer? You got to get your answers in, folks. I can't do this all by myself. All right, moving on. Question number 2. April 28th, 1789. What famous maritime event occurred? These are not medium difficulties. These are quite difficult difficulties. What famous maritime event occurred on April 28th, 1789? Was it the Titanic sinking? Was it the Mayflower landing? Was it the mutiny on the Bounty? Or was it Spanish Armada being defeated? Jessica says B. So we all agree that it was B, the first Barbary War attack. All right. April 28, 1789, what famous maritime event occurred? Titanic sinking, Mayflower landing, mutiny on the Bounty, or Spanish Armada defeated? I have my answer, and I don't want to spoil the well by telling you what my answer is, so I'm going to let you answer. James goes with Spanish Armada being defeated. The lovely Jessica is a slow typer. So slow. A, B, C, or D. She goes awesome with Spanish Armada being defeated. I say nay, nay. I'm going to go with the mutiny on the Bounty. It wasn't the Titanic in 1789. It wasn't the Mayflower in 1789. So it's down between the mutiny on the Bounty or the Spanish Armada being defeated. And somehow I don't feel like the Spanish Armada being defeated happened on one day. I think it took place over time. I'm going with the mutiny on the Bounty. Question number 3. What major global event occurred on April 29th, 2011? I am not happy with these questions. Was it the death of Osama bin Laden? The wedding of Prince William and Catherine Middleton? The Brexit vote? Or the launch of Instagram? What major global event happened on April 29th, 2011? The death of Osama bin Laden, the wedding of Prince William and Catherine Middleton. Hey, she's the one with the fine sister, right? Oh, yeah. The sister that everybody just wanted to go. Was it the Brexit vote or was it the launch of Instagram? We know it wasn't the death of Osama bin Laden. We know that. Because we know when he died in Operation Neptune. Neptune reaching? Neptune something? Neptune? It doesn't matter. We know it was then. It could be definitely the Brexit. Just major global event. It's the wording, man. It's the wording that gets me. I want to believe that it's the wedding of Prince William and Catherine Middleton just because I remember her sister's bottom. But I'm going to say if it's a major global event, I'm going to go with Instagram. It sounds stupid, I know. My guess is Instagram. Bin Laden is what James says. He's wrong. And he goes so far to say that was a question from last week. Well, then get it right, because you're wrong. And Jessica says Bin Laden? Question mark. So they're going to go with Bin Laden. The Taney family together is going with Bin Laden. And I'm going with Instagram, because why not? Question number 4. What happened in Europe at the end of World War II? It's April 30th, 1945. What happened at the end of Europe at the end of World War II? Was it the D-Day invasion, VE Day declared, Adolf Hitler died, or the Berlin Wall was built? What happened in Europe at the end of World War II? So it's not the D-Day invasion, because that wasn't the end. That was the beginning of the end. VE Day being declared definitely happened at the end of World War II. Victory Europe declared. That was a thing that happened. Also, another thing that happened, Adolf Hitler did die at the end of World War II. And the Berlin Wall was built at the end of World War II. I am so dissatisfied with this week's questions. We're going to get through them. One of those 3 things did occur on April 30th, 1945. James is popping in with VE Day. And I am popping in with, this is a BS question day. Because VE Day did happen, Adolf Hitler did kill himself, and Berlin Wall was built all at the end of World War II, but which one took place on April 30th? Hitler's birthday is the 20th. Yes, April 20th, 420. And it's funny to think that he would have killed himself 10 days after his birthday. Hitler went to Argentina. True. I'm going to go with the obvious. I'm going to go with B. VE Day was declared at the end of World War II on April 30th, 1945. Still waiting around for Jessica's answer. Jessica. All right. Moving on, March 1st, 1931. What iconic landmark opened on March the 1st, 1931? Was it the Golden Gate Bridge? Was it the Statue of Libertad? The Empire State Building? Or the Hoover Dam? VE. That's funny. What iconic landmark opened on May the 1st, 1931? Was it the Golden Gate Bridge, the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building, or the Hoover Dam? All of them are iconic landmarks. And all of them in my brain exist around this time frame. This is a very hard question. I am not happy with this week's questions. James pops in with an answer that's not available on the multiple choices. He chooses the San Francisco Bridge. Golden Gate Bridge. And I think he might be right. The Statue of Liberty in the 1930s, that makes sense. The Empire State Building in the 1930s makes sense. Hoover Dam, I believe, was a little later than the 1930s. It was the late 1930s because that was one of those big construction projects to get a bunch of people to go to work and kill a bunch of things along the way. So down for me, it's between Golden Gate, Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building. Still waiting on Jessica's answer. I like it when she plays, and then she just disappears. It's my favorite thing. Iconic. 1931. I'm going Statue of Liberty. That's what I'm going to go with. I may be wrong, but I don't want him to be right with his Golden Gate Bridge. Here we go. What major U.S. military event occurred on May the 2nd, 2011? I am so dissatisfied with these questions because this is definitely a question that we talked about last week. And if you're able to retain it, you should have retained it. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to give you the multiple choice answers. It's May the 2nd. It's 2011. What major U.S. military event occurred? And yes, this came up last week. I don't know why it would come up last week. The questions are supposed to be from the previous week, not the future week. But it is what it is. We're skipping 6. You can answer it if you want to. Neptune's Spear. That's what it was. Neptune's Spear. Finally, May the 3rd, 1979. Again, another question from last week. They say be fearful that AI is going to take over the world and robot overlords and all the other BS that they tell us. It's going to take your job. AI is going to take your job. But every day, I see people drawn by a court reporter. A court reporter drawing. I still see those. So they haven't taken those jobs. And that's the most worthless job ever. And they're not going to be quiz show masters because, again, here's another question from last week. Who became the first woman prime minister in the United Kingdom? I'm not giving you the multiple choice answers because we just talked about it last week. Who was the first woman prime minister of the UK? We all know it was the Iron Lady, Maggie Thatcher. We all know that. If you want to win, have a watch Robbie O'Neill and Neptune's Spear. Okay, so we got all our answers in. Let's ask this stupid computer to give us the answers, but we do it politely in case they do take over the world. Correct answer was the First Barbary War. This is where the shores to Tripoli and the Marine hymn comes from. Early America was already saying, we will travel for a fight. So question number 1 was the First Barbary War attack on Dima, which again is not the shores of Tripoli. Question number 2 was the mutiny on the Bounty. Oh, look who got that one right. Look at me. Imagine overthrowing your boss on a boat in the middle of nowhere. No HR, just vibes and coconuts. Yeah, they set him adrift. They put him on a plank and said, "You're gone. See ya." All right, April 29th, 2011 was actually the wedding of Prince William and Catherine Middleton. One of the most watched events ever. Billions tuned in, which is wild for what is essentially the world's fanciest. I do. So I did not get that one correct. I also did not get the next one correct. Adolf Hitler died on April 30th, 1945. Marked the beginning of the end in Europe. Within days, World War II in Europe was basically over. So that's a bad question. May the 1st, 1931, James did not get the Golden Gate Bridge correct. I also did not get correct for the Statue of Libertad. It was the Empire State Building, built in just over a year during the Great Depression. Meanwhile, it takes 6 months to get a Chipotle built today. That's AI trying to be funny. On May the 2nd, we all know that Robbie O'Neill was the one that put two in the head of Osama bin Laden. One of those everyone remembers where they were moments. Late night news broke and nobody went to bed. Actually, people went out and celebrated. And May the 3rd, 1979, Maggie Thatcher, the Iron Lady, was the first female prime minister. So I did not go 7 for 7, and I feel bad because I didn't do that. If you did, good on you. If you didn't, it's okay. Ain't no need to be upset. I have about 40 minutes before we have to tape a new episode of the Lunsby Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew. The latest episode, Ashes to Ashes, episode 1416, is out. And if you appreciate the cover art, would it kill you? Would it kill you to say that you like the cover art? Can you do that? I spend a lot of energy on making these things, and this is a fun one for me. I like it. So if you like the cover art, or if you don't like the cover art, just comment on the freaking cover art, man. Ladies, gentlemen, listeners, viewers. That's going to wrap it up for this week of the Supplemental. I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you can be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Brew sends her love. I am out.